It's time at last for the end of this ongoing series where I tell you all about the music I listened to on the last Monday. In a week or so, I think I will do a final bracket of all the A1 songs to see just what my favorite songs of this project were and just to see which ones really stack up against each other. I think I will also review the songs that were not for me and let you know if any of them spoke to me differently upon a re-listen. But first, this is Last Music Monday, where I tell you all of the tracks I listened to on the previous Monday and give them ranking from A1 for the very best all the way down to Not For Me. I prefer Not For Me because that suggests there's something to every track I listen to. I just couldn't find my gateway into the music. So let's get on with the final ranking. Since Like a Prayer by King Hannah and Frontier's Edge were on last week's list, I skipped those and went down to Scandinavian Boy by Mandalay Lamas. It's reasonable rock and roll, but nothing that stood out, so I had to call this an It's Fine track. The same was true with If We All Ran Away by the Helicopters. Even though the lyrics speak to me with a desire to run away and leave everything all behind. If we all ran away, what if we all ran away? The music just didn't go anywhere new for my personal taste. It's another It's Fine. Next, we seem to enter a down-tempo section, which I was not in the mood for, so that has probably colored my responses here. Standing Up for the Lonely by Tia Kofi. And Terrible Things by Hailstorm featuring Ashley McBride both seemed far, far too down-tempo for where I was mentally.
I see a sickness in a world on its knees.
Music is fine, it's just a little slow, so it's another It's Fine. Ashniko's Possession of a Weapon was next, and while I really like Slumber Party,
I gave your girlfriend cunnilingus on my couch.
For instance, this more down-tempo track just didn't connect with me at all. I felt disappointed in myself for not liking it, really. Cosmic Dance from East Forest and Mariame was more of the same, down-tempo indie. So once again, where I was at mentally just didn't make these songs the right things for me to hear. I did not enjoy every song in a row basically having the same speed. I don't like down-tempo, as we've covered over and over and over again on this list. So the next song, All Right by Charlotte Sands, was also in this list of It's Fine tracks. The drums that finally kick in after over a minute improve the song's speed a bit.
No, I'll never be alright, but maybe I'll get close.
But I don't like waiting that long for a 3-minute pop song to remember to change dynamics and or tempo. There's even a good line about drinking with my ghost, but the down-tempo, slower feel just did not connect with me yet again. So when the next track kicked in, Maracuya by West End, I wondered if I liked it just because it was more fast-paced. But I think that this kind of electronic dance track always tends to land for me in a place where I don't reach to turn it off. I'm not going to seek it out, but the trance that an upbeat song like this pulled me into earns it a place on the wouldn't skip list, the first one to raise that far this week. Terrified by Jules and Ami Faku is up next. This kept up with the polyrhythmic electronic beat, and I do love percussion. This one also takes, in my mind, too long to get where it's going, but that tends to be common on such electronic tracks. It kind of created a sense of dread in me that I don't know where it came from. On another day, with another listen, I might enjoy this, but my set and setting here put this one down on the It's Fine list. This Made Enough by Luke Alexander and Sydney wouldn't skip because this is a pop song that remembered to be more upbeat. On another week with, I think, some stronger tracks, I wouldn't rate this one as highly, but music really is about set and setting. I'll let you fill in the usual cliches about music reflecting your mood or being able to change it. It's true, but down-tempo tune after down-tempo tune doesn't really help when you feel washed out, as I did. Up next was Bach, the Justin Bieber of classical music. I don't really like his work except the Goldberg variations and his cheeky songs like Lick Me in the Ass. Go look it up. This is a fine piece of music, actually, but when you're having a day where you don't want down-tempo but keep getting down-tempo, St. John Passion BWV 245 Part 1 Number 5 doesn't really inspire you much. I can recognize the talent, though I'm going to controversially state here that I prefer Meyerbeer, so let me just acknowledge I've never really got into Bach, and this is not for me as Puccini is. That felt really catty, but that's where I was at. Because everything was down tempo. Up by Malik Harris felt pretty good.
You can lift you up, 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 when things bring you down, down, down.
But when I thought deeply about it, I came up with two things. The drums don't start correctly. They needed to be more forward for my taste, at least, not starting with just the heartbeat bass drum pump that is standard. Second, this song doesn't really do anything new. It's a feel-good song when things are tough. I like these songs, but this isn't my favorite of this style. It's a wouldn't skip for this week. On another week, it would rank lower. I like the next track a little bit better, and that was Set the Roof by Hudson Mohawk, Nikki Nair, and Taylor Parks.
Set the roof on fire. Set the roof on fire.
It's sort of a throwback minimalist acid house reminiscent of Voodoo Ray, but like that song, it also needed to be mixed with something else to reach its full potential. This would be a good zoning out song for coming back still up from the excitement of a rave and staring off into the middle darkness of 4 a.m. knowing you couldn't go back to sleep. But I wouldn't actively seek it out again, so it's a wouldn't skip. I feel really harsh about this week's list, so if you would like me to create a re-review of this list in a few weeks, let me know and I'll give this entire selection of tracks a second listen. I think that would be fair. Up next was another dip into the Downtempo with Lorraine James, 2003.
Daughters, that's for daughters, that's for.
Very serious track and lyrics, and exactly the wrong track to hit me at that moment. So with respect, I'm putting it in the not for me category. At this point, since songs I'd listened to the previous week were coming up, I decided that maybe this just wasn't my day to listen to music, especially music I didn't seek out myself. Some days you are not open to new things, and that is okay as long as that's not the balance of your time. The last track was Never Know by Flynari, which is easily backgroundable hip hop for me, especially because some of the lyrics are such cliches, like the repetition of not trying to be rude.
Not trying to be rude, but I'm that dude that niggas counterfeit.
I just realized that that's just stolen from Remix to Ignition.
Now I'm not trying to be rude, but hey, pretty girl, I'm feeling you.
And this is always said either before something incredibly rude or something not rude, but rhymes with the word rude. It's the second in this case. There's the boasting of being better than other people here, but there is, to my hearing, nothing actually said to back up that claim. Maybe it's the English teacher in me, but when you make a claim, you need evidence to back up that claim and rhetoric to make that connection. This isn't bad by any means, but I am also tired of the okay, let's go refrain people go to when they don't know what to say, but know they need to fill in some vocal space. Once again, because the other songs given to me this week, this one raises to the level of a wouldn't skip. But overall, this was a disappointing week for me in listening to the music provided by Tidal. The other weeks all had at least one track I found to be an A1 or tracks worth coming back to later. So once again, if you want me to give this track list another listen, please let me know so I can put myself in the right mind space to be mind-numbingly down-tempo. And definitely let me know what I am missing or misunderstanding about any of your favorite artists I just couldn't get into this week down in those comments. I would love to have a gateway into it. So that concludes last Monday's music, a mini-series for May and 1 week in April, though this last week of reviews is in June. If you want me to do more content like this, also please let me know. I will do a re-review of my favorite tracks in a few weeks, bracketing them out way after playoff seasons, just so you know that I am topically on top of things. And I will probably give the ones I dislike most their due in a future video as well. Wait. I couldn't let it all end like that. It's just that for whatever reason, the tracks that were pushed to the front of the line last Monday were just not my thing at all. I went further down the list on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and I'm here to give you some songs that I actually did find fantastic this week. I'd hate to not have at least one A1 each week. So here was my addendum. Fuck Your Heritage by Second Spirit. It's exactly what it says on the tin. Punk against those who wield authority to hate and target the expansion of humanity and the franchise to everyone. A1, 100% from day one. I loved it as soon as I heard the first second. It was necessary. It was meaningful. I also heard Fat Cakes by Jimmy McGriff while cruising other people's live casts. So that was added. And it's great soul music. It's also A1, even if I'm, let's see, 53 years late to this party. In the not quite A1 category was Hoes Have Feelings Too, which has that great buzzing drill sound and fully explores the concept of the title.
I know you look at me and see the baddest bitch, but I got a softer side, see these diamonds that are crying.
This is a listen again. Stream of Consciousness was also a listen again because it had Slefford mods plus Winehouse kind of sound.
I dream in color, hate the summer.
This whole semi-sung talk soul descended from John Cooper Clarke really works for me. Finally, for what it is, Dance the Night from Barbie is an A1 from day one track.
My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face.
Barbieheimer Day is coming, y'all. That's it for this time, and as the Northern Soul Patch says, even when all the tracks are down tempo, keep the faith.